Hello and welcome. This is my 2023 Civic Type R, and today, as of today, it has 10,194 miles. So welcome to the 10,000 mile update video. As I wait for Android Auto to start so I could pause the audio. Let's talk you through what I have done to the car, how does it drive now, and how well is this car? How well has it treated me? Let's begin with a walk around. Here, the biggest difference, as you can see from last time, is the rims. I've now got Enkei TS5 rims wrapped around Continental Extreme Contact Sport 02s. Car is recently detailed, so quite clean right now. Now these are 18-inch rims with a 45mm offset. I'll talk about how they drive on the road when I get to driving, but I personally think the bronze and white contrast work really well. I also talk about how well have these tires been for me. So same old AWE exhaust. Nothing has really changed back here in the trunk. It's got a fuel door. I have also got some tint on the windows now. 35 front, 20 in the rear, and 17 in the most front. So about all the exterior walk around this car. Get to the inside. On the inside, you'll notice I have now installed a dash cam, although the wiring still needs some fixing over there. And other than that, nothing much has actually changed on the inside. So let's get this update video started. Start with how the turning radius is on these 18-inch 45mm offset rims. Still very well. Now, let's start with what else I have done to the car that you can't see. Well, one very important thing I've done to this car that you cannot see is I've installed a PRL rear engine mount. What that does is it stiffens up the engine quite a lot. The way the engine sits in the car quite a lot, and increases vibrations but significantly reduces wheel hub. As of right now, I realized what I've noticed with new engine mount is during idle you could feel the extra vibration, but when you're actually driving, the vibrations doesn't come through nearly as much as you expect. Now, the PRL engine mount took me and a friend of mine about 2 hours to install. It would have been much faster if we had figured out a way to quickly remove the old engine mount, and which took the most amount of time since it was quite stuck in there. But the trick is you have to use one of your hands and push the engine away from the car, and that helps the removing and installing process quite a bit. Now, in the past, since the last time I showed you guys this car, I think that was 6,000 miles. The engine mount was installed around 9,000 miles, so I've been 1,000 miles on the engine, and most of the extra vibrations is completely gone, or I've just gotten used to them. Now on these 18-inch Enkei TS5s, the suspension is softer. The rims soften up the suspension quite a bit just by going to a smaller diameter. The Continental Extreme Contact Sport 02s they're okay tire. I have cleaned this car a few times since I've got the rims, which is about 500 miles ago that I got the rims. They're okay tire. They're not the best. They're not as grippy as Michelin PS4 4S's, but they are 340 tread wear, so they're quite high tread wear. And the thing, the noise, tire noise is okay. Nothing out of the extraordinary. What I did notice significantly, and I'll talk about more on this later when we get on ramp, is the steering ratio after the extra width in the tires. So the original offset of the Type R, the OEM rims, which I still have in my garage at home, with Cup 2s wrapped around them. Those are 60mm plus 60mm offsets. On this 45mm offset, I did notice the steering ratio is not as sharp as before. That's something. Actually, one of my friends who drove this, he said compared to the stock 60mm offset, he actually prefers the slower steering ratio. And to be honest, I quite like the slower steering ratios as well. What I also noticed with the 18-inch rims is I seem to get more steering feedback, which is surprising. But of course I don't mind that. More steering feedback is always good. As we notice right now, I'm going at a slightly faster speed. Tire noise, road noise, still just as before with the Type R. There's a little bit reduced tire noise because of the smaller rims, but barely noticeable. But I do think this car is slightly more manageable on a non-road trip now with the new setup that I've got on this car. Ooh, TDI. Seems really smoky. Now, as you may have heard right now, because of how badly I have wired in the dash cam, there's now a rattle, which I need to fix by putting that behind the trims. But as of right now, I'm just living with it. I haven't got. It's a very easy fix. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I'll get here soon. Now, with a PRL Motor mount and Cup 2s, this car has absolutely no wheel hub or wheel spin, because the Cup 2s, there's a little bit of wheel spin, but barely any. With the Continental Sport 02s, you do get a bit of wheel spin of the car, but no wheel hub, or just a little bit of wheel hub. Overall, I'm very happy with the PRL Motor mount. For $180, I think that's the best performance mount this car has ever gotten. As you can hear, there we did get a little bit of wheel spin, but I was on concrete, so there was pretty much no grip. And as you notice, there is no wheel hub. So, yeah, PRL Motor mount, it gives me a lot of more confidence flooring the car out of the corners now because of the wheel hub reduction, especially in second gear. What I did notice with the 18-inch rim setup and the PRL Motor mount is it does seem to have added a bit more torque steer. But personally, I'm perfectly okay with it. Torque steer is one of the characteristics of a front-wheel drive car, so I don't really actually hate torque steer. But yeah, with the PRL Motor mount, I just have the confidence to floor this car wherever I want, wherever I lead it. Of course, being a front-wheel drive car, it doesn't handle the grip. It can't put the 315 horsepower down. Now as we get over some rough pavements on the way to the on-ramp, we can tell that the suspension is still quite stiff on this car. I am in individual mode, which is why I've been driving it mostly in. And there's still quite a bit suspension noise. You can still hear some rattling, but I do have some stuff hanging around the car and quite a bit of stuff in the glove box, so those might be causing the rattle. But overall, 10,200 miles now, just crossed. No complaints. Still absolutely enough with this car. What I did notice is the brakes started to squeak a little bit. I did get new brake pads before the track day, and they should be still. That was quite a big impact, and the car took it just fine. There is also a bit of a squeaking noise coming from the tires, but overall, I'm happy with the setup I have right now. Quick turning test. Oh yeah, still lots of grip. Lots of grip. Even though these Continentals are not as grippy as the Michelin's PS5 as World Cup 2 that I had done before the Continentals, they're still perfectly adequate for the job. Yeah, but even with that turn, you could. Well, the moment I put on the rims, I noticed the turning rate, the turning speed response of the steering wheel, the steering ratio is noticeably slowed down. But as we approach the good highway on-ramp here, I must say I would be disappointing you guys, as we will not be doing a Cayenne drive today because, well, I need a haircut. And right as of right now, the GoPro keeps on slipping off my head because my hair is too long. Alright, approaching the good highway on-ramp here. See how she handles. The rattling noise is something I definitely need to take care of in the future. Pull a bit distance on the cars in front. Continentals certainly have a lot of grip. Now that we're on the highway, and despite being Sunday, it's a bit of a slow moving traffic day today. Let's talk about these Continentals and the Enkei TS5s on the highway. I've kept the same width of the tire, 265 sessions. As I merge left, what I noticed is the driving assist features, such as lane keep assist, still works just as fine. No calibration needed. Same with adaptive cruise control, that still all works. This whole system still works. But let's take some quick look at numbers. So get the fuel economy number. Right here, I just filled it up this morning. I only have 244 miles of range left. And over the lifetime average 22.5 miles to the gallon. Now, keep in mind, this car majority drives in the city. My commute does not require a highway. Even if the occasional highway, it's highway in high traffic concentration zones like the 210 or the 110, which is all high traffic concentration highways. So, aside from my commute, this car majority sees the Cayennes, not road trips. Therefore, 22.5, I'm quite impressed with it. This car pretty much only goes to hard city driving or hard Cayenne driving. So, perfectly adequate. Now, since I filled up this morning, it's been getting 29.7 miles to gallon in the past 17 miles because I majority drove on the highway to get to the filming location. Majority of the filming was done on non-straight road with no traffic. Let's talk about some things that I like and I don't like about this car in the past 10,000 miles. Since I like the driving experience so much, a practical haul hatch that I could drive every day, everywhere, that gets relatively good fuel economy and still keep up with supercars on the highways. Not on the highways, on the Cayenne roads. Nothing else beats this in terms of that. Since I don't quite like the stiff ride is still annoyance. Right now I'm having to increase my voice volume to talk to you guys because cabin on the highway is quite loud, even with the TS5s. This freezes my hand in the winter, burns my hand when I get in the afternoons, which is why I have this hoodie covering it. The other thing I don't quite like about this car, except for the few rattles, that this screen sometimes rattles. The engine takes quite a bit to warm up. The fuel tank is the biggest issue. The fuel tank in this car is really small. I know it says 243 miles, but that's 243 highway miles. In actual city driving, you get about 200 miles. It's a 10-gallon tank as I get cut off by this Jeep. Yeah. So nothing much I like to say about this car. Overall, the past 1 year and 3 months and 10,200 miles has been a pleasant experience. I've loved this car. I continue to love this car. Yeah. Although I would love a rear-wheel drive car, just have the ability to kick the tail a little bit in closed road, of course. But having had a track day with this car, having done a little bit of lift up oversteer with it, having Cayenne it, having road tripped it, there's nothing much I can say. I love this car. A pleasant experience. With that said, thank you for watching and enjoy the day.